Hi guys, Assalamcom and a good evening to everyone. So welcome to the first live episode of the Moneymalist, and we want to make it as simple as possible for you guys to understand. So tonight we have a very, very special guest. All right, I would like to invite Puan Khairul Nisa Ismail to the show.
Hi.
All right, hi there, Puan Nisa. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Moneymalist. Okay, I'm Nisa Ismail. Just call me Nisa. I'm the CEO for Sedania Salam. We are a subsidiary of Sedania Innovator Berhad. We do Islamic fintech, so we focus a lot more on Islamic financing, where we do the backend processing, focusing on digital commodities. And recently, we have launched Assalamcom, which is a marketplace focusing only on Islamic financial products, and which we have few Islamic financial partners across all sectors as part of our community partners in Assalamcom. So I think we also do have other products as well, such as Sharia compliant core banking. We also do a lot of digital marketing engagement because we want to try to do more education, more awareness about Islamic financing, and also about understanding about your lifestyle financing as well. So which I actually shared a lot together with the Wealth Vantage team recently, and hopefully I can share a little bit also in today's show.
Sure, we would love that. By the way, I love your work. I love what your company does because, I think being what you do now is you're being one of the first movers actually.
Okay, yeah, in a way, yes.
Yeah, in a way, one of the first movers in pushing fintech in Malaysia because, it's quite hard to push fintech in Malaysia and people are just starting to familiarize themselves, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the topic for tonight is how is banking and consumer behavior changing in the new normal? So as we all know, the new normal with the current COVID-19 pandemic, people are changing the way they view their finances. They are changing the way how they are banking. People don't want even to touch ATMs right now. Okay, a lot of people
opening the door,
yeah,
the ATM. Yes,
yeah, so true. I mean, yeah. So even the small things change with regards to finance. So we can see a bigger impact in the banking and the consumer behavior towards this financial. So we're going to dive deeper into this. So Puan Nisa, the term new normal is often used to describe our current living through the COVID-19 phase, right? And also the ongoing effects of it. So what has been the impact of COVID-19 on banking services and Malaysians overall? What do you think?
I think from a banking perspective, or even FSI, I'm talking about not just banks, financial sector, financial services industry sectors. I think what is clearly what the impact that we have clearly seen is actually on-premise activities are being completely halted. Okay, that means the need to adjust the processes, especially all this while you need to go to the bank, you need to go to the credit agencies or cooperative to do the signature, and although that has been halted for a time being, of course, there's a lot of adjustment needed to be, especially to address the compliance manner and ensure that regulatories also has been addressed. So these all has been impacted. Okay, and all this while everything is basically done in HQ. So moving forward, things has to be remotely addressed, especially on data where it has to be addressed remotely. So these are some of the parameters that financial FSI sector needs to be agile and have that change. And then from consumer perspective as well, I think since the start of MCO in March, we have seen consumers inclined towards digitalization. They tend to go towards digitalization, especially I just read recently from the Ipsos coronavirus tracker, which was released in March. We have seen most of the customers are more inclined to be engaged in social media, reading latest news, using messaging apps. It has risen tremendously, and even going for e-commerce for shopping, and also accessing streaming. So this has been like a new norm practice already already. People starting to go engage with that kind of features. And then in terms of spending, consumers are much more cautious right now, especially in terms of their spend. And they tend to resort towards being more prudent, more responsible in their spend, and focus in savings. So this is how I think consumers are changing. And then with the work from home norm as well, I think, of course, we tend to save a lot on transportation costs, definitely. But of course, we need to buy food and all that from home, but you tend to save a lot more. And then I think this is where we as a consumer need to ensure that the household is well budgeted, in terms of household consumption is key. So the saving, the budgeting still needs to be there as well. The consciousness of budgeting and saving is there. But we also are seeing that decision to purchase big ticket items also has been now reviewed or put on hold until situation is much better. So even when I also got some feedback also from some of the consumers that because of the moratorium impact, most of them are resorting to savings. So this is an opportunity for them to save as much as they can for the next 6 months to manage the post-COVID or post-moratorium that they will have to address. They have to endure. So I think a lot of people are having that, take a step back and say, okay, what can I do? What can I save now? How much I can budget? And it's a new, how do you say, consumer spend norm that we are seeing right now. So it really it takes two to tango from financial sector as well as the consumer side. Yeah.
With regards to the FSI, do you think that currently are they fully prepared or maybe not prepared for this?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I do not want to talk just about the banks. The banks, of course, they have bigger budgets, they have business continuity, they have digital plans and all that. But how about the likes of credit agencies, the likes of credit cooperatives, who has been relying a lot on physical branches? Yeah, and these are the segments that we have been observing that they have actually it's a bit of a struggle because, like I told you earlier on, it's kind of like everything is halted in terms of operation, premises all being closed and operation is being rationalized. So what I have been addressing to some of these partners is that they have to look into these four main elements, basically, which they need to refocus and re-strategize, and it's not too late. So, for example, they need to reassess the customer journey because they need to understand how their pre-pandemic customer journey and post-pandemic customer journey moving forward. Because I think it's important that customers, like I said earlier on, I mentioned, customers are starting to spend more and more online and digital application, which sectors like credit agencies, cooperatives need to reassess all their touch points. So that's one. Number two, they need to re-strategize their data that they currently have. Monetizing data. This is an opportunity for FSI sectors to step back and reassess their current consumer data and monetize that and see how they can fully optimize the data. How about its existing customer? Whether do they have mobile? How do they interact? Do they interact a lot with mobile banking, with e-wallets? How do you want to reach out to them much better? And this is where how you can optimize that as well. So number three is structure. All of us have BCP, business continuity process, but are we, from our organizational structure, are we digitally ready? Are we digitally pandemic proven ready or not? So these are the things that we have seen and observed and helping our partners to at least have that baby steps to get ready. So as a fintech player, as just to close this, we play a more like a collaborative approach, to all our partners. We have the digital knowledge, we have the technical know-how, we have the hands-on experience of what's happening that we can collaborate. Like I said, it is not an overnight transformation, but at least some clarity of to be established by these sectors. From the customer journey, I always talk about customer journey because you know why customer is always number one. You got to understand who are your customer, who are your existing customer, and who are your to-be customer. That is the first rule of thumb. What are the basic operation changes that you need to address? And of course, last but not least, is managing customer experience. To get one customer is expensive, but to lose one is easy to gain, right?
True.
So there's no longer this statement of we are disruptors, but I like to say we are a collaborative partner. This is not a short-term transformation, but it is more for a long haul. And with the pandemic situation, which is going to happen next, it's still going to ongoing for the next 12 months, 24 months. Yeah. The change is here and it's still ongoing. And the most important thing for this sector is to understand the consumer and
how is digital banking and fintech continuing to transform rapidly?
Actually, it's all about education and awareness. I think, of course, if you notice that the scamming part also has rise, I always believe it is the ownership of the consumer to learn and to find out the source. I mean, we as a financial fintech player, partner, collaborator, we do our part as well in terms of educating the consumer and the FSI segment. Of course, we have that CSR duty to educate the consumer because I'm also doing the marketplace. So I always advise our readers, our customers to Assalamcom to always check the source of the information. It is still the ownership of the customers to cross-check before anything else. Check with the regulators and relevant authorities on such claims that you have received. Scammers are always out there to try to get whatever they can. Even when you do that, apa tu yang bantuan sara hidup also, suddenly the next day you got one app coming up, so we don't know whether is that true or not. You see, so these are the things, and even always go to the source, and even people like us who have 10 years of track record working with the bank partners and all that, it is still the FSIs that underwrites them, that give the approval, that we always refer, either not us to approve the loan or approve the financing. It is still the bank, but we help to facilitate. You have to ask, you go back to the source. Where do you get this information from, and whether you get it approved or not. We do our part as well to make the customer experience better and to get that awareness also there. Getting the data of the customers, of course, right now PDPA is very strict and we have to be PDPA compliant, and customers needs to know the terms and conditions as well. They just don't simply send in their IC, just they need to know as well. So this is the behavior that the customer still need to embed, to get themselves embedded, okay? Because as we move on, like I told you, there'll be a digital transformation, there'll be a much, and then digital banking is coming on board already. How you need to create that trust. So trust is important in this digital age. You see, trusting that your payment will go through, trusting that you are parting your critical information to get that financing, to get that mortgage, to get your car financing. It comes down to customers making a thorough research or a sound research, and confident that they believe in the platform, they believe in that particular in that partner. So these are the things which I feel that that all together with FSI sectors, together with fintech players like us, even we're working together with MDEC, working together with regulators, we have to continue creating that knowledge, creating that education. But consumer needs to be aware of themselves as well, need to know where's the source, what's the source. They have to do it. They cannot rely, and don't trust, I mean, you have to trust yourself, you see? Yeah, so don't listen to what other people are saying, but you just have to trust yourself and do a bit more research. I think this is where the digital age is moving, where you need to do a bit more research and homework. So this is part of our education practice as well. Try to part that knowledge to our consumer.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If it's too good to be true, then it's not true at all.
Exactly. So even myself, I mean, I've got a call from scammer and said, I don't have that loan, but so you do your own check. So you call Bank Negara. So basically BNM said that, okay, that is a scam. So you just ignore, or you just block the phone, the telephone line. So it is your ownership. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because the consumer too, cannot rely 100% on the source. They still have to find out the source.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
So I think even like I said, even people like us as well, like aggregators, fintech players, we have to adhere to when you talk about B2C kind of platform. The privacy policies are very important. The PDPA is important. The terms and conditions, those are all compliant that we need to ensure, because at the end of the day, we want customers to believe, to have that trust, and to come back again to our site to actually get the right product for them. So these are the things that I always believe, and it goes the same to all the FSI sectors as well. Yeah.
True. All right. Yeah. So specifically for financial services, why do you think this transformation is important? And how does collaboration and globalization and the consumer matter?
Like I said earlier on, I think it is very important because consumer are changing. You have a different breed of consumer segment right now. A consumer wants everything fast. They want everything on the speed. So if let's say there's a lack of digitalization, you will lose that customer, like what I told earlier on. So we need to get onto that bandwagon quickly, at least some sort of level of first layer or second layer of customer engagement that we need to do that. And it has to be very much mobile friendly and easy. I always believe that the FSI should know their customers really well too, and who they want to target, so that they can start engaging well with that customer. So especially talking about the segments in rural, like my cousins live in Kedah and Sungai Petani, Penang. So they want to have simple language, simple features that they can actually they can actually apply. So these are the things that the components and features that FSI sectors needs to understand as well. It's not just about transfer and everything, but it's all about how easy for customers to use it. So maybe instead of 5 steps, you take 3 steps. Instead of 10 steps, you cut down to 8 steps, and you continuously review your process. So FSI sector cannot just say, okay, this is the process and this is it. I think it works well. You need to continuously look at ways to catch up with the customers. And if the customers exactly, if the customer you already have this information, why should I have to repeat again? So everything has, that's why the data optimization, consumer data is very important from that platform to optimize this data and to basically re-access and address that answer back to the customers, and makes life easier for the FSI sector as well. So like I said, understanding and addressing the customers' needs are important, let alone understanding the financial needs by the consumer as well. So these are the some, because you're talking about personal retailers and also SMEs, and now we have a lot of hybrid segment, especially entrepreneurs who are out there, young entrepreneurs who basically started off from scratch, and we are seeing a lot of these issues right now. They're looking for small microfinance to keep them go. To keep them going. So we need to make sure that FSI sector and people like us, fintech players, actually help that to close to reach the gap.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question. So we talked about scams, right? Yeah, with the COVID-19, also we saw a rise of scams because it's so much easier to scam through a dummy app, a WhatsApp or Telegram, right? So how do you think consumers can be more vigilant in times like this? How can they make sure this is not a scam?
Like I said earlier on, they always have to go to the source, do a lot more research. Don't be gullible. Please don't be gullible. Do a bit more research. Call the regulators. It's okay to call it. It's toll free, right? So basically, just find out, is this correct? Is this site correct? Should I provide the information? So always go to the source. So that's why I said, and please don't be gullible. And I think it is the ownership earlier on for regulators and also for the FSI sectors to actually be transparent, provide the information to the customer, which I am seeing it a lot more right now. A lot more apparent right now in terms of this is the information that respective FSI sectors are actually offering to the customers. These are all the steps, the information that they need to know. I think is out there, but it is the ownership of the consumer to do to be more how to say observant, yeah, and responsible. Not to say they are responsible, but be a little bit more responsible, just to be sure that they will not be trapped in that scam situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to be scammed nowadays.
Oh yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean, we are coming towards the end of the question, of course. So by the way, do you have one simple Moneymalist tips for the audience?
Oh, if I'm doing it, I'm saying it to myself: save, save, save. Yes, this is a trying time for everybody. I think this is an opportunity for you to save as much as you can. If you have not started, start now. Every little cent count, as well as only spend what you need for yourself and your family, and not what you want. I think this is important. I mean, like your great grandparents before, they've gone through the Spanish flu, they've gone through the World War I, World War II, and all that, and they actually become more prudent in terms of their spending, what they eat, and all that. So I think sometimes we have to step back and refer back to what our great grandparents have done and have enjoyed, and we are into that situation actually right now, that we need to be more prudent and be responsible in our spend, and also what we are consuming. So I think try to take that opportunity to save as much as you can. Yeah.
I think because people have wants, right? They have wants and they have their needs. So if they can align what they want is what they need, I think that is very good.
Yeah, exactly. So even sometimes I said I want e-commerce shopping. So I'm one of those person, right?
Yeah,
so you want to buy baju raya, nak beli satu ke dua ke tiga ke, but what's your budget for per baju? So you need to reassess and say like, okay, you don't do open house anymore right now, right? So what you want to do, or you want to comfort baju kurung where you can wear again long term. So I look at it that way. So okay lah, maybe satu cukup lah, one for me, one for my daughter, one for my husband, dah cukup. So these are the things that you have to really assess and say, and you can reuse it again. So these are the things that you probably have to always think. But of course, we also need to inject also certain spending as well for the economy to work. So like I said, we have to do it, responsible way, in a responsible manner in terms of spending. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for the tip, and thank you for today, of course. All right.
Yeah.
So, but we are coming towards the end, guys. So we are going to the Q&A session of the show. So do we have any questions from the audience? All right. Kewangan Graduan. He said, how to avoid scam? Be alert, refer to SC or ask your social media friends.
Social media friends that you trust. Social media. Like I said, don't trust anyone. Trust yourself. Trust your instincts. So again, do a bit more homework. Do a bit of research. Then, if you're satisfied with your research, then you know what to do. Yeah.
Okay, do you have any other questions? We are talking about how the FSI industry is, want to accelerate the digitalization process. So what do you think the consumers or clients or customers can do to accelerate the process on their end?
Like I said earlier on, consumers' behavior has changed. I think through the assertiveness of the consumer behavior, that actually helped to accelerate the FSI sector as well, to change your process. Like earlier on, if let's say I want to, if let's say a same information is to be used to apply so many things, why can't you use the same information to do that across all, So these are the things that I think FSI sector need to step back and see how they can make it easier for the consumer. So I think assertiveness of consumer change, the change of the consumer behavior actually helps a lot for in fact the research sector or the FSI sector, consumer behavior analysis, to actually look at it and analyze their processes. So that works a lot. I also have a bit of research background, so I always believe in research. That the more you do research on your consumer, I think that's where you can actually address a lot of strategic element. I'm not saying shortcuts, but looking at what are the efficient ways to help the customers, especially when it comes to applying or getting their financial product approved or processed. So these are the things that we are looking at as well to help the bank partners as well. But like I said, even when we launched Assalamcom marketplace platform, we actually observe the consumer behavior the moment the consumer logged into our platform. What do they do? What do they like to do? What's the bounce rate, and what's how long do they spend on that particular page? Why are they spending on that particular product so much time? So we actually queried that. So and why they drop off after not even putting up their information. So these are the things that we always have to go back and go back to the drawing board. Go back into the how, because it is the consumer that actually the consumer assertiveness of behavior that actually impact our processes and makes and forces us to change the operation strategically for the better. So I mean that's why we value consumer feedback, consumer behavior, and the data, especially when it comes to digital. Data will not lie. You will understand where it is. So from there, you actually interpret it and then basically try to address, give the best solution. Then the next time the consumer comes to your site, the consumers come to your platform to apply or to do some transactional, they see that difference. And those little, and they see the customer comes back and give you the a bit of an impact, a bit of testimonials. I think that works. That, I mean, for me, it's not to say the job is all done, but at least you have done some changes and you continuously, learn from them and get their feedback and go back to the drawing board and start improving again the whole process. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's talk about a bit of your company, because we haven't talked much about Assalamcom. So your company, right? So can you tell the audience what you guys do? So maybe I think a lot of them is also they want to know. They want to know too.
Okay, basically, like I said, we have been around for nearly 10 years. So we have been always a B2B platform. Sedania Assalam has always a partner to the bank partners for when it comes to Islamic financing processing, which we do digital commodity trading. So that is our, for the last 10 years. But since last year, we have evolved. We have expanded our products. So we have gone to B2C platform, and we have integrated our B2B backend towards our marketplace. So it will be a seamless experience. So from a bank partner who is now already onboarded as our B2B client, if they are on our forefront marketplace, they can actually get a client and get an applicant to apply for their product, to get it approved, disburse everything. Instead of 2 days, now you can do it for within 1 day, for example. So we help to accelerate the whole process actually. So from Assalamcom is a marketplace. So we focus on Islamic financial products. So currently we have personal financing and credit cards. But we don't address just for the banks. So we also help Islamic credit agencies and credit cooperatives as well. So this also addressing the government sectors. So we're just not about the mass segment, but we're also looking to government segment as well. So we actually do matching. So we don't do search and comparison. We straight away do a match, like matching lah, So we match the applicant with the right financial product. So there's no busyness in terms of marketing whatsoever. We go straight to the point and say, okay, what is your current obligation? What do you want your financing for, and all that? And we do a checking, then we do a matching, then we actually match you with the right financial product. So from applicant's perspective, it's very easy because now they have been matched to the right based on their eligibility. So and it's really good, and everything is done on the dashboard. They can also access whether the applicant has been approved or rejected or work in progress. So everything is on the dashboard for them to see. And for the bank partners as well, I also, like I said, I address on credit agencies and also credit cooperatives. So they also have an opportunity, like I said, start baby steps to be on digital. So they're using us as a platform to get into the digital bandwagon, at least from an onboarding perspective. So that's why I said the last 3 months is evident for us to see our credit agencies, starting to come on board with us and say that a credit authority said, I need your help to do digital acquisition, digital onboarding, because my branches is halted, something like that. Or I cannot open my branches 9 to 5. I have a certain operational hours, and my team is all done remotely. So I'm helping them as well. So in a way, it is this whole 3 months is also a learning curve for all of us as well, to understand better of the consumer behavior and our customer and our bank partners and our FSI partners. So yeah, I mean, we are here to help. So hopefully, and we also actually ramped up a little bit more on our resources center, learning center as well, where we get consumers to understand more about their financial well-being. So I think my marketing team and content team have done a very great job to actually do up videos, do up content. That's where to address your issue about scamming and all that too. So we also address that kind of content as well, so that consumers are well aware. So we do a lot of that, and we try to do in Malay language because we want to try to address the underserved, the more the out of town segments. So we're trying to do that as well. Yeah.
So with regards to ascity.com, all the businesses from the application to the disbursement is done online with no physical human intervention.
Basically, from the digital onboarding, all that is done online. But of course, the underwriting on the bank side, there's a bit of hybrid operation. So it's not to say it's purely, there's no human, there is some, but we try to minimize it. Yeah.
Okay. So from your experience, I think you'll be getting a lot of traffic from the last 3 months, right?
Alhamdulillah, ada. Like I said, there's also mostly small financing, microfinance. We are seeing a lot of requests from the especially the SME sector, the smaller SME sector. We are seeing that because they have been affected quite a lot, during that time. So we are seeing that growth also a little bit, and but of course, during this 3 months also, the FSIs also have tightened a bit they have changed their so-called eligibility criteria as well, because of course they need to manage the risks and all that. So we are seeing that change, but we try as much as we can to match this applicant with the right financial sector if possible, so that they will try not to lose out. Kalau tak boleh, maybe they can improve their credit scoring better, or make it, so we will address that maybe you have to try again the next 3-4 months, make sure that you pay on time and all these things. Certain things, like especially credit cards, you still have to pay credit cards, right? So you have to pay credit card on time and all that. So take this opportunity to reassess back your payment behavior and all that. So we always try to do that as well to the consumer. Yeah.
Okay. So from what for your time, thank you so much. So, well, let's hope that after this COVID-19 pandemic, we are continue to striving towards digitalization, and also on the consumer side, they be more vigilant. They stick to their savings, right? Because we don't want that to be poof just after the pandemic, right? Yeah, we want it to stick, right? And also for the FSI sector, let's continue to grow together. And the faster we grow, the faster we connect and collaborate. I think collaboration is the fastest way to grow nowadays. It's not about which is the best company, but I think it's about which is the best collaboration.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Adam. Thank you so much, Moneymalist, for having me here. I really enjoyed the time. I think 1 hour is awesome. This 1 hour is amazing. So thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Puan Nisa. I hope I'm going to see you again in this show, of course.
Definitely, inshallah. There's a lot more opportunities. Yes.
All right, guys. Okay. Thank you for everyone who's joining tonight, who's joined. Thank you so much. So that's all for tonight. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.